Welcome to This Week in Destiny with your host, Peroty and Night Demon, coming to you with all the Destiny things. Now, will we bring them to you, or will we say we were going to bring them to you, but we forgot to bring them to you, but we'll bring them to you next week? Promise.
Yeah. No, don't mention next week. Just say we'll bring them. That's it. That's just leave it open. If you leave it open, there's no we cannot be held to account when we said it would be ready by. Even if we wrote it down to say it was coming next week, but it doesn't come this week.
See, you just need to live in the moment. There is no past. There is no future. There is only the present. You need to be here in the now, grounded and rooted in the right now. Don't think about what's coming. Don't think about what has come. Just think about what is. That feels like the energy Bungie's bringing into, end of this year into 2026 and Renegades. Just don't think about what's going to happen. Just think about where we are now.
Just go with it and just believe it will happen. And think, much like this podcast, it just happens. It's here every week in your lug holes. Me and Peroty just talking at you. So yeah.
We don't think about what's going to happen. We don't think about what has happened. We just think about what is happening.
Yeah, we were much like Bungie, unscripted,
unsure, but here nonetheless.
Yeah, pretty much.
Welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter Destiny 2 podcast, a show dedicated to bringing you the latest intel, the mightiest news, and the boldest opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new Guardian, fresh from the Cosmodrome, or a battle-hardened veteran of the Red War, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with tips, tricks, and tower-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the show. Your weekly, dependable Destiny 2 podcast, where we tell you the facts. And, Peroty and I are here every week telling you stuff. That's it. We tell you the stuff that we know that's happened, because we know it's happened then. Because we can't tell you anything that's coming, because if we do that, we're going out on a limb.
And let's be honest, no one can see the future. Bungie doesn't see the future. We don't see the future. Nobody knows what's coming. We just know what's here now. So that's what we're going to focus on: the here and the now. The present only. And then also trailer for the future, because we did get that prognostication.
We got a nice trailer. And I'm not going to say that I called it, but I'm going to say that I called it. Didn't I say jetpacks? Did I not say jetpacks when I said we're going to get Boba Fett skins, there's going to be jetpacks? Just saying. I might have said that. Star Wars jetpacks. A long time ago, when we knew that Renegades was coming.
I'm going to guess that yes. I don't remember because I have no memory, because we're only focusing on the now. But I'm going to say that yes, you probably did say jetpacks. And I will also wish all of us a happy N7 day. I don't know what day was N7 day, because I don't remember the last day I logged into this game.
I think it was yesterday.
Okay, well, remember to claim your free Alliance Requisitions pack featuring a ship, Sparrow, and Ghost. The pack leaves the Eververse when Ash and Iron ends. And N7-themed armor ornaments will be available for Bright Test during the next major update.
Which really confused me, because I saw the tweet come up on my phone, and I was like, oh, okay. And then when I logged into the game yesterday, I was like, oh, okay, they put a big splash up saying, N7 stuff. I went and looked for this N7 stuff, and I thought it would be on the main page. I'm like looking, and I'm like, where is this stuff? I'm like digging back through all the different things. I'm like, it's not on the featured stuff. So I then went back into past archive stuff that you can still get and scrolled for what felt like ages looking for this thing. Actually found it. I've got it. It was already given away a period of time ago. I think when they first launched it, because they gave you the Sparrow, the ship, and the Ghost, and then that was to kind of launch you getting the like Mass Effect armors for all your characters. So I guess it's coming back around again to celebrate N7 Day.
Right. So celebrate now, celebrate in the past, celebrate or have celebrated. It doesn't matter when you celebrate.
No.
I also don't really know what N7 Day is or why we're celebrating it. I mean, I know it's Star Wars related, but...
No, it's not. It's not Star Wars. Mass Effect.
Oh, Mass Effect. Okay, well, see,
it's star based. Yeah, it's.
I just assumed
it's
it
in
was
space. It's a space thing.
I saw the tweet and I was like, those look like spaceships, but I don't know. I don't know which spaceships. Let's be honest here.
Bless you.
Okay.
I think. I don't know whether Noble would be more shocked with you that you don't know like spaceships and can't identify what a Star Trek thing is and a Star Wars thing is. Can you you must know what the Enterprise is.
See, Trek and Wars I would have a much better job with, but Wars and other space-based things that I've never played a Mass Effect game, so
no.
I see Star Warsian looking ships and I'm like, it could be Star Wars. I don't know.
I see I do see the appeal of Mass Effect, and I see the appeal of like The Witcher that my wife plays, and all these other wonderful games, and I'm like, I've made my bed and I'm going to lay here. Just Destiny is the game. I will dabble with a bit of Fortnite every now and then, just to have a bit of fun, because I like to go back to the PvE, build a base, and defend against the zombies, or play Gears of War with my wife, and we do the campaign. And then we do a little bit of like horde modes every now and then when we can tie the children down to actually stop arguing about who's going to be in charge of the money and build the fortifications, and who stole somebody's kill, who went off and got the money, and this, yeah, it's a whole thing. So that's why I like Destiny, because Destiny's my thing. Nobody else comes near it, and it's
There you go. Even more true now. Okay, yes. So 2024 we had I couldn't remember how long ago. Like I remember we had the Mass Effect crossover, but again, having no context for it, I was like, I know it happened, but I didn't remember if it was last year, 4 years ago. So yeah, it looks like 2024 we had the crossover stuff. So yeah, it seems. So are they just giving it all away to everybody now again who didn't get it a year ago? If you got it a year ago,
I mean,
like you was everyone just confused?
I honestly don't know, because I clicked on it and got it the first time when it came round. I suppose if you left it there and maybe it's been free all this time, or it's been out of the Eververse store and it's now come back. Because that is one thing. I mean, I know I'm going to digress just sort of off of the Renegade stuff. We'll come back to that.
We would never.
But the thing with Fest of the Lost, and I know somebody pointed it out last year, but the ornaments for the skeleton kind of outfits that we had, I think it must have been the first year we had Fest of the Lost. There was those 3 different coloured skeletons you could get for the ornaments for your characters. And then last year they took them out of the Eververse store, and somebody said they've taken them out and not brought them back. You can't get them. You definitely can't get them this year. But what I was wondering was, did they push out another set this year to make room for the new sets? Or because I honestly can't remember, because I think the one, actually it might still be there, because I think the one that I thought that was going to go was I've got like a Frankenstein outfit for my Titan. I think it was called Chem Flesh, which was kind of shiny green with chains on it, and you look like Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster, sorry. So I bought that last year thinking that it was going to go away, and I think I did see it in the Eververse store for silver this year. So maybe they haven't, but they haven't. I don't think they ever addressed taking that out of the Eververse store for last year, and then just not bringing it back. It's weird, because I thought it might be, maybe it's on a rotation. Maybe they're going to kind of pop it in every now and then. Maybe it'll turn up next year. But who knows?
It may have also been one of those like one-line tweets of like the 2019, Festival of the Lost set will not be like not called out as the skeleton set, but just, mentions like, this year set of this we're, working to bring back or not going to bring back, or who knows?
It's weird, because you thought something in the Eververse store
the abyss
wouldn't disappear like that. And the other thing that disappeared from the Eververse store that's never come back is the Iron Banner. I think it was an emote, and it was specifically for 1 week of an Iron Banner or 2 weeks of an Iron Banner when we had it way back when. And I didn't have any money at the time, being a bit poor, I didn't have enough money to buy silver that month, so I couldn't afford it. And I thought, I'll see if I can get it the next month. And I completely have missed it. It's just never come back to the Eververse store. And I'm so gutted that they've never brought it back. I mean, they did do that before with some emotes. Like there was one where you could brush the floor. There was a sweeper bot with a little brush.
The broom one, yeah.
And that was in the game for quite some time. Then they took it out, and then they brought back a package of ones that was for a special event, which the brush and a couple of other ones changed colours so that you could recognise that you got the different version of that because the other one wasn't coming back. And then it has come back because I've seen it in the Eververse store at some point in the last couple of years. So it's really weird that some things kind of come back, but unless you're kind of, because I don't think Bungie ever kind of celebrate that or say, make a big thing of it, like, oh, this has kind of come back into the Eververse store, or this is, this has been out for like 2 years, come and get this, it's only going to be available for this limited time. So unless you're kind of tracking it manually, you don't really know. So it's really hard to know, what they're doing basically with Eververse anyway.
Yeah, I thought it was, because again, like I saw the tweet go by, and I saw the pop up this morning when I logged in, and it was just like it seemed like a weird thing to call out, and a thing I'm going to assume I claimed it because I do not see it, cannot find it in the Eververse store anywhere. Like you would think it would be in a prominent place, and maybe it is. I assume if it was free before, I said, "Oh, it's free, let me claim it."
Yeah, that's what happened.
I'll assume that's what I did because I don't see it anywhere. So,
I mean, talking about pop-ups as well, I'd really appreciate that maybe we went back to the pop-up that we used to get on the Friday that would tell you what is coming in the rotation for the next week. Even if I know we've kind of moved past the legacy rotation of different things, but it would be nice to know what kind of Crucible modes that are going to be available in the portal or on the Director, and maybe like a splash of like, oh, next week Festival of the Lost is coming, and we're going to do like I think it was Hake armaments. So you've got to boost the Hake weapons this week, which was quite nice for some of the Hake weapons. But it would be nice to know ahead of time. And I know I've asked this many a times of Bungie, so I'm hoping that maybe somebody does listen to this from Bungie and say, you know what, we should go back to that, because I think if people knew about little things that were kind of coming up ahead of time, they might get excited and jump on, a bit like we used to with the Nightfalls and other things that were splashed up on the screen, say, oh, this is coming next week. I mean, it would be nice, rather than kind of you having to log on and then go, oh, look, up in that top right hand corner it says next week Festival of the Lost is coming, or I think I'm presuming that it probably says Call to Arms for next week on the portal, because they seem to update it at the weekend, but it's not like it's there for the whole week. So it's really weird. I know I think they did a big splash already saying that Call to Arms is coming when I logged in, might have been last night or the night before. So it's like, oh, so they are kind of letting people know about things like that. But again, it would be nice to have more information than no information about things that they definitely know that are coming the following week. So
it'd be nice to know ahead of time, is there something to log in for at this point? If you're sitting here and you've done as much as you're interested in doing or able to do, is there a reason to pick up the game and play this week? Is there something particular, or is it the same batch of everything you've been doing?
Yeah. I mean,
give people a reason to play, but you have to tell them what's happening.
I mean, Festival of the Lost, I'll give them the due, was definitely something to log in and play and enjoy, and just like I think we said last week, it's like one of those things you can just log in and listen to something in the background, or not really pay 100% attention to, because you could just fly through it with a team of 6. Although I did find on like the Wave 3 that you do have to pay a little bit more of attention, because sometimes if everybody on your team is doing the I'm a chilled person, I'm just going to sit back and just shoot the enemies, then you need to be the person that goes and collects the motes to kind of dunk. So yeah, then sometimes there is that, but sometimes your whole team suddenly goes down. You're like, I am the only one alive. I better keep this sword up. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that, and what I found this week, because I think when I logged in yesterday, I was like, I'm going to wait till kind of the end of Fest of the Lost before I kind of spend any of the candy, and I get to towards the end of the week, and I start doing the let's have a look at my characters and which ones can use the boost from like the engrams that are available on the reward track or available from Zavala, and boost myself up. And I was doing that last night, and I was like, I haven't got any of these holofoil weapons to drop from Fest of the Lost. Now I got I think it was the Wicked Web shader, which is the last one on the track, on Tuesday before the reset. So I'd done it in the 2-week time frame that was available, and I thought, okay, so anything I do after that is just extra, which is quite cool. So I was like, got all of that done, and I hadn't had any green holofoil weapons to drop, and I only realized this last night. I was like, that is strange. I mean, have you had any to drop whilst playing, or?
I've had some to drop, and I honestly couldn't tell you if it's while playing or from the track, but I've had a handful drop.
Okay.
But they haven't been tier 5s, and they haven't been very good, so I've deleted them. Because I'm looking at them going, why am I holding on? I mean, some of them have been tier 4s, but if I have a tier 5 with the same rolls on it, the holofoil looks nice, but I don't see any reason to keep it if it's not the best weapon I could have.
Yeah, the track weapons are tier 3 and they're locked at tier 3. Everything else I'm getting is tier 5 drops.
Okay.
And I think the engrams as well, they were tier 3. So I was popping those and they were just dropping tier 3. So it was just, although they were high, like in light, I was able to infuse them. I was like, but they're only tier 3 and they're not good rolls. And I thought, well, okay, maybe what has happened is because I haven't pulled those specific weapons from the track, maybe we've gone back to the old thing of if you haven't already had it to drop, like with Iron Banner, if you haven't got it from the engram or if you haven't pulled it from the track, it won't drop in the actual game mode. I'm like, maybe that's my issue. Maybe because I haven't pulled them from the track and I was waiting for the last week. So I did that.
Yeah, but certainly you must have like 6,000 of all of the weapons at this point.
Oh yeah, the weapons, the tier 5s, hundreds and thousands of them just like deleted or infused, and I'm like, I'm still swamped with them. I mean, my vault is up to 699. My postmasters are chocked out with these weapons, and I'm like, I physically, I don't know what to do. I just need vault space. I need Renegades to get here and just give me the vault space. So I'm completely chocked. But yeah, the green holofoil weapons hadn't dropped, so I did the thing of kind of balancing out my characters and then pulled the weapons off of the track because they gave me higher light in some areas. So I did that, and then I started throwing my candy at Eva Levante, and I had quite a bit. I've still got quite a bit left, and I got one holofoil weapon to drop, which was tier 5, which was the bow, the Hush Whisper. And I'm like, okay, so they do exist, but maybe it's because I needed to throw the candy at Eva. So that's what I'm going to be doing towards the end of the festival. Is I'm still going to play a little bit more of the haunted stuff. I mean, Red Rumble, take it and leave it. It's just, if it pops up that day and it says that I've got 3 bonus engrams, 2 haunted engrams, and a featured weapon for that day, I'm going to play it for just that one round, get all those powerfuls, and then I'll go back to playing the haunted altars, because it's just fun with different builds. Especially like Warlock was really good fun with like just multiple turrets and just standing back and in my rift and having to shoot the odd void weapon just to do that void challenge for the day. So that was quite cool.
It's the Warlock buddy build is so good. Yeah, I at one point I flipped over to the Titan specifically to kit him out with all the void things and put a void subclass on to do the void challenge, because I realized I just not touched anything with void because none of the new weapons are void, so I just hadn't been using void anything. I was like, all right, let me void all the things, let me get that done. But then I went straight back to the Warlock because it's just so good. It's so much fun. And I'm having a hard time doing anything else. I'm going, yeah, Titan, you can be over there, and there's some decent builds for the Titan, but there's nothing more fun than the buddy build right now. I'm having such a good time with it. And Bungie did wear me down. I started because I still haven't done the campaign on the Warlock,
Yeah.
And I started going through it, and I just said, I just am not enjoying this. I just, like, I was playing on normal even. Like, I'm not even playing on hard because I just don't care. And even then I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not having a good time playing this campaign again. Locked to the whatever, 180 or 150 or, pre 200 light level that I'm locked to, even though I'm in the 400s. And I just said, here is my $10 or whatever it was for the silver. I'm going to buy the campaign skip. Because like, I really just haven't interacted with Kepler even. Again, I mean, for all the reasons we've talked about, but I just haven't really, I did the campaign on Legendary as a Titan. I've done bits and pieces after that on the Titan. I've done bits and pieces on the Warlock. But I just said, let me unlock Kepler on the Warlock, because that's where I'm having fun playing right now. And then maybe I'll go work on the fabled and mythic stuff on the Warlock that way. I was like, but I just do not want to do the campaign over and over and over again as the content. But there's weapons I want out of Kepler. So Bungie got my money by saying, I'm an adult. I can pay you with money versus time to get this thing done, so I don't have to go do this campaign again, just to then sit down and play the campaign again to do all the extra bits you want me to do. So well done.
So the question I've got for you for that is, had you unlocked everything on your Titan, I presume, did the opening campaign, and did you do all the little blue missions and everything else with your Titan first? Okay.
I have done a good number of those missions, but I definitely have not done all of them, partially because I haven't been playing and sitting with, a YouTube video up to find where I needed to go on some of them. Go hunt down this piece, go shoot the little 9 icons. Some of it I just have spent so much time running around Kepler, being lost, going, I'm sure the thing I need is right here, but I simply cannot find it. And I'm not having fun spending minutes looking for something versus, doing something fun, feeling like I'm playing.
Okay. So did whatever you do on your Titan transfer over to your Warlock at that point then?
As far as the
everything,
extra,
as far as
the blue stuff?
extra missions, yeah.
Probably, because when the blue things popped up, it definitely wasn't as many as were there originally. So I believe so. Yes, I believe
that's what I'm thinking. Is that if you complete it all on one character and then pay the silver, it should kind of negate having to do all of the stuff. It just kind of copies and pastes what you've already done.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And had I sat down, because I had done like part, half of the fabled stringlets and maybe 1 or 2 of the mythic ones. I can't remember because I joined you in blue at one point, months ago now, to do some of that stuff, and I just haven't ever gone back to it because the rewards weren't rewarding to do anything on Kepler past 200, 300. So now that I'm sort of like, I've done every activity a trillion times, I'm like, well, let me go back into Kepler and do some of that stuff at least to get it done, and maybe I can get some more Giver's Blessings and Last Thursdays and some other weapon drops that I'm interested in that I haven't gotten anywhere else. But yeah, the idea of the content being the campaign missions and then doing the campaign missions again, and no matter how much you grind or how high a level you get, it still doesn't help you because they still lock you to the same mythic, fabled, whatever level.
Yeah,
I've got Noble and Feral we're talking about, saying part of the reason to play this game and to play any game like this is to overlevel yourself to make things a little easier for you the 4th or 5th or 6th, 7th time you do something, and that's just not possible. You could be at 550 and still be at the same light level as the game wants you to be to do any of this content. So,
but that's the kind of approach that they took with the final shape, though, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And people didn't seem to moan with that. So I think that's where they were like, well, it worked with that. So if we carry on doing that, like with the legend and the mythic kind of versions of the campaign, and maybe added an extra one in there and get people challenged, it's like, well, we'll lock them to this and we'll do this and do that. They liked it there. So why are they not liking it here? I think that's the problem we're kind of coming up against, is that they were praised for those specific things. When we had the Witch Queen, you could select your normal, or you could do your master version or legendary version, and the same, they carried it on through each thing. And then with the Edge of Fate, they then stepped it up and went, oh, we'll add an extra level that will be, this grand version that, you won't be able to do unless you're esoteric to kind of solo through, but it's kind of backfired on them now.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, and now again, that was pre tiers. So I could go to the Pale Heart, or I could go to the Throne World, and I could, I could go there and I could enjoy what I was doing because I was getting rewards. I cannot do that with Kepler. You go to Kepler and it's like, here's your 200 level tier 2 weapon. It's like, okay, why am I wasting my time here? I could spend an hour here. I could spend 20 hours here. I'm never going to get a better reward for being on this location. Why would I waste any of my time here? And I think that's the big difference. Again, I'm not upset about, the tiers and everything. And I think that, that's a good idea. But when you introduce the tier system and, like we talked about, going to Kepler once you're over 300 isn't really valuable to you because everything you're getting is such a low tier. You're like, why am I doing this? When I could be going and playing, in Kepler's in the portal. It's part of the portal system. One of the few things in the portal that are in the game still at this point. Yeah. And there's just no reason to go interact with that content. So, I think that's, we've talked Portal and stuff in Kepler to death, but I think that's just the big difference is with the tiers, you just invalidated a lot of what we were doing to feel rewarding in the past is no longer rewarding.
Yeah, it is partially that, but I think the thing that I'm finding more and more now is that when I used to log on and say, Noble's done everything, Blue's done everything, and they're just on playing, doing different things and maybe farming a nightfall or farming a dungeon for those specific weapons, because they've kind of been sunset or kind of they're not relevant to the gameplay of the game now. They're not featured weapons. They're not featured exotics, blah, blah, blah. I think that's one of the things that's kind of turned people away. And because they're not on, I'm then finding it increasingly difficult to go on and do things that require a team. Well, First of the Lost has been fantastic because it is kind of just match made. You go in, do whatever. But for me to do my Conquest Seal, I need people on. And I would rather have, I know I can use the Fighting Finder, but I would rather have people on that I like playing with, that we can have a laugh. If we mess it up, nobody's just going to rage quit or kick me from the team kind of thing. It's like, we'll go again. We'll reset, we'll go again. Or, we got halfway through and this isn't working. Let's restart and let's do this again. And I think that's one of the things that the game is now missing, is like the people that are being turned away are then affecting the people that are still staying to play, because it's like, I did see you on at the beginning of the week and I was like, I'd like to come and join you, but I was kind of just doing video stuff at the time. I was like maybe playing the odd festival stuff to kind of get a bit of footage. And I was like, but you and me were the only two on that specific morning. I was like, that normally there's about 5 or 6 people. And I know it's, it has, peaks and troughs and different things, but the people that are normally there are not there now. And that's what's really difficult for me as a player. I can't, if I message Noble, he might jump on and play with me, but it's like, I need a team of 3. We need to go and kind of do these Grandmaster missions that will take a bit of time, because it's one of those things. Yeah, they're rightfully and purposefully difficult. And they really, you have a game that requires finding other people to play it with on your own, because so little is match made. Again, and yes, like there is Fire Team Finder, like, yes, there are ways to do it. There are means to go find people, but even without people, there's what you can, unless you want to grind through solo ops for your, at this point 900th time or whatever, there's so little you can even play and just say, hey, can I find, the relative few people playing this game, can I find those people and can we team up and go do something together? Yeah, kind of, but like largely no, unless you make new friends while you're doing that, because there's just so little there to do as a fire, as a match-made fire team. Yeah, and it's just, it's again, we're, there's nothing new with our criticisms and critiques, because it's been the same problem
from the get-go.
But the problem is that it's getting worse for the players that are still sticking around, and that's
Right.
what I'm kind of trying to say. It's like I want to log on and play the game. And, I wouldn't mind going and doing dungeons. Wouldn't mind kind of doing some of the stuff that's in the portal that requires a team, because there are, there's no matchmaking for that specific thing. I'd like to go and do that stuff, but there's nobody around that I can play with apart from Fireteam Finder, which then has its own issues, which I'm not opposed to using. It's just that I would prefer to play with my friends. And I think that's the one thing that Bungie have been sending out surveys this week, but I think the problem is that they've sent the surveys out to only a select amount of people that haven't played, or their time has been reduced. Because Noble was in the chat and he was like, I've got this survey, what do you think? I can't take screenshots of it because it won't let me, so you could kind of discuss it on the show. It's like, oh well,
Yeah, tell them what you've been telling us. I mean, I feel like so few people get to those surveys. And again, people love to complain, oh, they only talk to the streamers, they only talk to the content creators. Well, I mean, if you've gotten a survey, this is your opportunity. And don't be be truthful and honest, but don't be overly nasty, because they're going to look at that and say, well, this person's just being about things. And maybe they've got some, they're not gonna take your I'm just gonna scream at you feedback in the same way that if you're like, hey, here's what I've done, here's what I enjoy doing, here's the problem I'm having away from it. Here's the problem I'm having, here's what I would like to see. You want the opportunity to give them feedback, and that's I haven't seen one recently, but whenever I get a survey from them, I sit and take the it's 5 or 10 minutes most, just to sit down and say, okay, what are you asking me? And truthfully, what would I like to see? What are you asking about? And what could I say to say, this is what I think you can improve on. This is what I've enjoyed. Because they're looking for information from all parts of the player base. And I feel like, so few people respond to surveys of any sort overall that, this is, you want to provide feedback. This is your opportunity. Take the opportunity to say, this is your line to Bungie, or at least your line to Bungie in a way that says, let me add my voice to the chorus of what I'm seeing, what I'm not seeing, where I see the problems are.
Yeah, we put out this podcast and hopefully that they listen to some of our feedback on it. But like I said, I haven't got a survey. You haven't had a survey. So it's only specific people that have kind of left the game or have had reduced playing time. And because I suppose we've maintained what we kind of do with our playtime, we're not affected. So it would really help the game if those people, even if you are not playing, or somebody that has stopped playing that's got one of these surveys, needs to fill it out. They need to give that feedback, because it's going to help the game in the long run. If you don't care, you don't care. And if you don't care, why you listen to the show? But it's like...
if you're done, you're done. Like, I'm not saying, do Bungie the charity of, if you're done and just said, listen, this is, this isn't for me. This, I've given you, I've given you my decade, or given you my X number of years, months, whatever, and I'm done. Yeah, be done. Like, I'm not saying, oh, please come back to our game. I'm sort of saying that because, please come back to our game so I have more people to play with and people on to do things with. But like Demon said, be truthful, be truthful but constructive. Say, hey, this, share your thoughts and your opinions, because this is your forum to do so. And we'll see. I'm assuming there's a big batch of people. They said, hey, these people used to play this game a lot, and now they haven't really been. So let's see, let's reach out to those people with thousands of hours and hundreds of clears of things, and see what is it that's not resonating with you. What's not working for you. And and hopefully they'll take that and post Renegades, act on that. And I almost I've been thinking about that magical toad nap, the toad nap that we haven't gotten this week, that people have been asking for, that the Bungie said that we were going to get, and then DMG said, sorry, I told you we were going to get that toad nap, and then we didn't get the toad nap. That secret word that we're not saying that sounds a lot like toad nap. I almost wonder if part of it is going, we kind of want to take the community's temperature and see see where things are before we announce where we're going, before we maybe put some of these plans in effect. Because and maybe because maybe it is, hey, we don't have a, we obviously, they've addressed the biggest problems, the power grind, the progression, they've made good strides in all of that stuff. But it's sort of like, okay, well, that's the biggest, fire we have to put out. What do we need to address next? How can we win people's trust back? Because I think like DMG said last week, or it was either DMG or D2 Team, which in my mind are sort of the same.
I think it was DMG that responded on Reddit, wasn't it? He actually addressed it this week.
Yeah, sort of said the same thing of basically, we need to win players' trust back, and we need to do a better job with this. And I think some of that may be, they're having these conversations of, okay, we've addressed the biggest fire, and the fire is out on the house. The house is no longer burning, but the house is not in great shape. What more do we need to do with the house to get it back to where it needs to be, to get Destiny to be the game that we're excited to log into every week?
And he did apologize for saying the word roadmap on the actual
right.
On the live stream. And I was going to say this to you this week, if we hadn't heard anything, I was going to say, I think maybe he jumped ahead, he jumped the gun, or maybe they did say, oh, you can mention about the roadmap, and maybe that wasn't the right kind of word that he used, or he should have used. Maybe he should have just gone, we'll let you know more information in the tweets that are coming out. It's like in the end of November, what's kind of going to happen, and then maybe later on down the line we'll get to more stuff that's kind of coming in the future. Not actually say a roadmap, because it was one of those things that, like, as a community, we went, right, roadmap's coming. And I know we kind of mentioned it like 2 or 3 weeks after the fact or even a month after, we went, still no roadmap. And then it got to that thing where they dug themselves a hole and they didn't say anything. And it's like, we've got to address it, because it is out there and people are saying we need to know. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, like you put it out there, it wouldn't have been that hard to, as DMG and the poor guy, I really wish he would.
Yeah.
I really wish he would. We would be getting this from Destiny 2 team, even if it is DMG. Because he is still, I think like he even said this week, put the blame on me or whatever. I'm like, dude, no, this is not all on you. This is you are not the whipping boy for this entire company, even though you kind of are, because you're in the position that we see. But like, how hard would it have been to say, hey, we misspoke last week. It's not a roadmap, but we are going to have previews of what's coming. Just get ahead of it and not have it fester for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then become this thing. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, because you're going to get asked every 5 minutes, hey, where's the roadmap? Where's the roadmap? If you just got ahead and say, hey, we don't have a roadmap, but we do have previews of what's coming. And we'll get them to you when we can. Sort of put it to bed. Say something.
Yeah.
So you're not just continually, because otherwise you're going to get what you get every. I think even when he responded, it was in response to someone on Twitter saying, "Hey, where's the roadmap?" Because I'm sure that's all they heard over the last couple of weeks is, you said this was coming. It's now been 4 or 6, however many weeks it's been, and we haven't seen it yet. Where is it?
Yeah, I think he meant. Was it in September he mentioned it, or was it October? I can't remember, to be honest. But it's been over a month, maybe 2 months coming up. It's like, so at least they've kind of addressed it, and they've gone, it's not coming. It was coming, but then things have changed. Things have been moved around. So maybe just not hold out hope for a roadmap as yet. Maybe after Renegades we'll see something. But I think the main focus at the moment is going to be on the Renegades that's coming. And I mean, we've got a gear trailer that dropped this week. But slightly going back to like the roadmap, I did see a couple of tweets this week from Llama. And I think it was more related to the video that you went over last week where they changed the portal. Mm-hmm. They've done a Black Armory Enigma, which is like a refreshed Black Armory with Scourge of the Past and the Niobe Labs coming back and redacted, and all the weapons. It's just like this picture that they've made up of all the weapons with kind of a red version of the Black Armory logo, but given all the weapons 5 tiers. And they also then did that for the Leviathan and called it Leviathan Baruch, with Leviathan, Spire of Stars, Eater of Worlds, and Crown of Sorrow returning, and remastered boss encounters from those 4. So things like that, just look amazing. Like, I know people get upset with rehash content or reprise content, but I think things like that, if you're actually going to bring back stuff that isn't in the portal to make things more relevant, like Leviathan Raid and all those 4 raids coming back, and the Niobe Labs and the Black Armory stuff coming into the game, would help alleviate the issues that you've got with not sunsetting the dungeons, but putting the dungeons out of the portal and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, and just there's how many years of content that's just no longer playable, no longer accessible in any way, and that's what we sort of thought. When we were getting the whole portal system, is now you have a place to rotate things into, out of as well. But now you have a specific place to rotate things into, and a way to say, hey, this will be up for a limited time. This will be up for, this season, this week, this month. We'll put it on a rotator with other things. There's a way to reintroduce the stuff to the game to make it feel fresh and new and interesting. And, I mean, that's we're still waiting on what that's going to look like, what we're going to see out of a lot of this, because it's, they've moved some things around and they've introduced some new things, but there's, it's what's on the road. If I'm still here playing Destiny a year from now as a player, what is the portal going to look like? What is my experience going to be? When can I expect to see this increase in this rotating of content? How often is it going to rotate in and out? Am I going to be, does Destiny become a game in a way where you jump on and you play for the first month or, 2 or 3 weeks, and then you sort of wait for the next event because it's the same handful of weapons, it's the same handful of activities. And once you've done them, a few times, again, just like the seasonal model, you jump in and you play the new 6 or 3-person activity until you're blue in the face and have all the, the gear you want from it. And then you say, okay, let me take a breather and come back in the next time there's something worth playing. Like they've really created the week on and week off. Is there something this week worth playing, or is it the same thing that I've been playing since the launch of the Edge of Fate?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? If we get to Renegades and it's still the same stuff that we've had in the portal ever since the beginning of, was it June, July? Since the beginning of Edge of Fate, and then they've just added more stuff to it. What's the difference between just updating the director and this? Is you're making more work for yourself by then just transferring it into the portal? It would have made more sense to kind of just update the director with various different things that were featured, because it just doesn't make sense. And then, or if it gets to Renegades and you swap out everything that's in the portal now with other things that are gone in the game or are still available in the game in the director, but it's all new stuff, you're then creating more work for yourselves. I feel like we've then not sunset, but you've kind of pushed the stuff that we've had at the beginning of Edge to Fate to the side, and we've got all new stuff, because we've got so many more strikes, so many more dungeon layers that could be added, and activities that have kind of gone from Destiny's past. The Menagerie, for example, things like that they could bring back and put in the portal, but it's going to take them time and effort to do that. So I see, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I think what they're going to end up doing is the portal's going to still stay the same with the same activities, but they're just going to add and add and add and add. And it's then just going to become this bloated thing that we originally had with the director, with people not really being focused on anything because everything's in the portal now, and it's all viable, but there was really no reason to create a portal to do that, because as kind of a lot of content creators have said, it's like it hasn't helped onboard people any better than what you had previously. It's kind of, as we've seen, turned a lot more people off of playing the game. Portal is one of the problems, but yeah.
And I'm just thinking, looking at the world tab, there's still, if the portal is there, or looking at the director tab, you still have Vanguard that has Nightfall and Vanguard ops in it. Like, Gambit still exists over there. There's still Crucible modes. We have Survival, Rumble, and Hardware Supremacy up this week, and it's like you're now functionally, and just nothing of the Legends tab with your 2 dungeons, 3 raids, and 3 exotic missions. But why? It's like, yes, it's all there, and I understand. If they obviously, I'm not saying to rip all this out and have it just be the portal. But there's just no, I mean, unless you're trying to get a drop of the dungeon weapon or a raid exotic or something, what's the reason to go play any of this? And you're still maintaining, obviously you're maybe not actively working on, but you're still maintaining 2 completely separate parts of the game. The portal and the rotations outside the portal are still in the game. So you're still having to, troubleshoot and QA and work around and at some degree, check for bugs in this entirely other separate part of the game that, like when they sunset the Red War campaign, they said, oh, it's, this tiny amount of people playing any of this content, so we feel pretty good about removing it. Like, how many people are actively interacting with non-portal activities at this point? Is anybody? I mean, other than the handful of people who are going to go play Gambit, or maybe if Mayhem is actually up in in the Crucible, not in the portal, which they still never addressed. Maybe you maybe want to jump on and play that. There's some activities that just aren't and haven't come to the portal. But is anyone going? I mean, other than that,
makes
other
no
than a
sense,
brand new
does
player,
it? Crucible modes not coming
right?
To the portal, like Mayhem and
Like
Team Scorched. It's like why not?
The easiest win of just bring, you have these game modes. They're literally in your game. Bring them into the portal. Let me get tier loot out of them. I mean, Gambit is not a big popular thing, but there's some people who will still enjoy Gambit. And if nothing else, it's another thing to go do. Maybe people have played your brand new activity or the Civ and said, oh, hey, this is kind of fun. Hey, people have been playing a certain PvP, PvE game out in the wild. Maybe they'd like Bungie's take on it and say, oh, look, Gambit exists. Like, I'm not saying it's going to bring people back, but how hard would it be just to stick it in the portal and give it tiered loot? And yes, I mean, hard. Obviously, none of this is, an afternoon of work for one dev, or it would be done. I fully understand. None of this is easy. I'm not saying, oh, just snap your fingers and make this happen.
Quite a few months now. They've had is it nearly 18 weeks?
Yeah, but it's like, and again, I understand. The power grind, the progression, the major bugs. A lot of that's now been addressed. And again, and this is sort of, again, looking at that roadmap, again, just what can I expect as a player? Am I ever going to see Gambit in the portal? Because again, Gambit is a thing I can play. It's match made. And like Crucible, it's a little different every time. So I find it replayable and enjoyable. And it's something that doesn't ask me to try that hard. It doesn't ask me to go out and struggle. I win, I lose, I can try out new loadout. It's a good time. It's a casual game mode for a game that desperately needs some sort of casual match-made game mode. And it just, am I ever going to see this? Because honestly, that's what would keep me going. Is the if you had brought all the Crucible modes you have in the game to the portal and rotated them properly through, and if Gambit was in the portal, that would keep my playtime up. That alone would keep my playtime up every week, because I could get on, and whether there's anyone on or not, I could sit and listen to my audiobooks or my podcast and just hang out and play Crucible and Gambit. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm not trying to be the winner. I just want to sit and play the game that I have enjoyed for a decade of my life. Mm-hmm. And now I get on and I do a couple portal things and I go, well, okay, I've gotten a couple drops of that.
I've exhausted those, yeah.
Yeah, I've done the 4 things I feel like I can do. I've gotten my 90th version of these weapons. What else is out there? I'm kind of out. There's other things in the world, and it's like I if I'm getting bored of the game, like I don't want to feel bored of playing this game, but it's like you do a couple things and it's like, okay, well, I've done that now. I feel like I've exhausted all you have available to me.
Yeah.
And not a feeling I want to feel. I want to enjoy my game.
Yeah, exactly. And you want people to be on to enjoy that. And I just don't get, because Crucible is one of the easiest solutions. Yes, you're not giving us extra maps at this point in time. And will we get any extra maps? Who knows? But to port like the game modes over into the portal would have been like a win-win situation, because let's face it, you've got Cutting Edge in there, you've got Control, and then you've got Rumble, and then maybe Trials at the weekend. So you've got three Crucible things. It's like, people, why leave the other two things on the director when they could be in the portal and giving people more options to play, especially for like fun game modes like Mayhem and Team Scorched and things. If they were in the portal for the week, I think people would just kind of, turn their brains off and just go in and play. It's really fun because you can go and really stupid with some of your super builds or your ability builds in Mayhem, or just and not to have Iron Banner come back. I know it could appear in the next couple of weeks when we have the Call to Arms stuff, but I'm at a loss for words, because it's like they made this big deal of kind of taking it out the game and it will return in Ash and Iron, and it's like it returned for 1 week. And if you didn't get your seal done for that week, for how many times you guild it, it's like you've lucked out. And I'm at a loss for that. And the other thing I was thinking of, because I went through and I was doing a lot of research for the Call to Arms stuff this week, but I was like looking at the stuff that's coming with the reward track, and it goes up to 40 on this reward track. And they said that, some of the weapons are going to be available on that reward track that we've they've previously been up on reward tracks before. And especially things like the Trackner shotgun and the Sinatra sword. I've got, and I pointed this out before.
Week 1.
Yeah, when we had the arms week, I think it was the 2, because we had 2 arms weeks now, haven't we? And because even those weapons weren't the featured weapon, because I think the first week was the hand cannon, the second week was the shotgun. Those things were on the reward track with exactly the same roles, exactly the same tiers, because I think they're tier 3s, and I saved them. If they put tier 3s, exactly the same roles on the reward track for Call to Arms, I'm going to be so disappointed with the fact that you could have changed the roles that were available or the tiers based on how that Guardian was, or the account was, because that would have given people more incentive to come on and play and go, oh, it's a different role from the last time that it was on the reward track, and oh, I like that one, and it's a better tier, and I can do this. But to have it exactly the same copy and paste, and if it turns up copy and paste on the next reward track, I'm going to be so disappointed. I'll still play it, but I'm going to be disappointed that they didn't take the time to just swap. How hard is it to swap it off of a reward track?
Or swap something else in. You have such a wealth of weapons and armor in this game that are not in the tiered system. Even if you poured it in again, I have no idea if it's the amount of work to port a weapon into the tier system. If you took one weapon, just one weapon, and say, hey, this week this weapon is coming to the portal, coming to the tiered loot. We brought back the fan favorite whatever. We brought back the whatever. Pick a weapon. I don't even care what it is. It could be another hand cannon. Pick something and say, hey, we're going to add this weapon to the portal this week. Because honestly, the first one, when you said there's 40 tracks.
Yeah, 40 rewards, yeah.
Or 40 rewards on the track, not 40 tracks.
Yeah.
My first thought was, is there enough content to keep me playing long enough in a week to want to get to 40 slots up the track? Is there enough there to do to keep me coming back to get that high? I'm very motivated by making the bar go up. Like I love a reward track. I love, completing things. But is there going to be enough to do to want to log in enough days to do that? And I just don't know if the answer is yes to that.
With Fest of the Lost, I am completely overrun with golf balls. Just the amount of golf balls that drop from that chest at the end. I'm like, this is amazing. Just I can level up everything, but then I'm getting to the point where I haven't got enough enhancement prisms to level up all my tier 5 gear, and I'm kind of having to kind of go to Rahul and kind of dismantle things to kind of, it's like really funny. But yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I want for nothing. Like there's nothing I need. There's nothing I'm looking for. Like I have so many materials of every sort. Like it's like I'm looking for reasons to play the game outside of I can get my 70th draw. I mean the Festival of the Lost Weapons. I mean again, I'm not going to criticize the drop rate on any of that because that's beautiful. Because if you played for a day or two, you've got all the Festival of the Lost Weapons and they were tier 5s dropping hard. Like I have no complaints there. 10 out of 10, no notes. That was perfect. But if you're coming, and you showered me with so many materials, like I have all the materials now. I'm good on materials of every sort. So it's like, and if my rewards, if the draw to come back and play is, hey, remember week 1 when you played a bunch of this game and you got all of these weapons? Do you want a higher tier of them? Maybe, I guess. If they'll drop it tier 4 or 5 as opposed to tier 2 or 3. I mean,
yeah,
I guess that's a draw, but like I'm not. That doesn't excite me as a player. That doesn't make me go, ooh, let me go regrind. I mean, how much do people love regrinding for the exact same weapon they already have?
Yeah.
It's a hard sell, Bungie. Like I want to be excited to play this game, but you're not giving me a lot of reason to feel excited to play this game. It's, hey, grind for the same loot you've already gotten in different events with different names. But the number's higher on it. The tier's bigger. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, will I still play it? Yes. Am I going to get up to 40 on it? We'll see. Like I don't, I'm trying to come every week going, I don't want to just be down on this, but the game is in the state it's in. Like I'm not, I can only sugarcoat but so much, and I'm looking for reasons to play and getting excited, and I
am excited for Call to Arms. I am excited because there's a lot of cool stuff, and the reward track will be stuffed with so many different things, transmat effects and shaders, and which is really good. It's a really good change from kind of having to buy a book that does the thing for the, and I did say like about a month ago, they need to do more events. And I'm really confused with this event because looking at light.gg and looking at all the different elements of it, it looks like it's only going to run for 2 weeks. And then there's going to be a celebratory week at the end that involves another part of like finishing off a quest. So I'm really confused whether it's running for 3 weeks or if it is going to be for 2 weeks, and then we're going to kind of get this celebratory week, which is very similar to how we had with the Guardian games. And again, Bungie, please do not just copy and paste what you're doing with this Call to Arms and use it in Guardian games when that comes up after Christmas. I can foresee that this is going to be one of those things that go, oh, well, this way of the scoring thing worked, and we could then just kind of implement that and like, no, this and what you did in Guardian games last year was good. Just let's keep innovating. Let's keep going with adding different things.
Yeah. I need something. I need a reason to log in and play this game. I need something interesting that's not just, hey, I know it hasn't been like that, but I feel like I've been getting the same like 6 weapons to drop since Edge of Fate started. And again, like I know it's not that bad, but and obviously Festival of the Lost had its own batch of things, but it feels like I've had just the same small handful of weapons in everything, and I've got what I want. I don't need anything else of any of those weapons. I'm good.
But the thing is, we've probably only ever had. We've always had a small amount of weapons added to the game, but they've been added to the game. And I think the problem is where we went with Fresh, of like everything else before that is technically Sunset, and we're now getting all these weapons and armor that aren't. These are going to be the featured stuff, and then they're going to persist. I think that's what's the hard thing, because we would never mind just regrinding the same stuff if we had people on to play with, or different roles, or if they just. Festival would roll around, and we'd have like the horror story or the Vraytek werewolf with different roles from the previous year. And I know they did that with the Arcane Embrace this year with the shotgun. And I think that's the thing. Is just it would just keep things slightly fresh. Yes, they're the same kind of things, but it's kind of hard to go from 0 to now. In a year's time, it might be completely different because we might still be on this tiered system. The weapons still might be viable, and who knows, really? I mean, the game should significantly improve, but I'm still holding hope. It's really hard to like playing your game and enjoy playing your game and get excited about things that are coming up with the game when there's so much negativity about it. And I'm not saying that it is not the criticism for how bad it is or people's perception of how bad it's got for them isn't not relevant.
Yeah,
but,
valid.
Valid.
The criticisms are valid. Yeah. I mean, because again, this is still coming from two of us. Neither of us are 550. Neither of us have spent hundreds of hours in Caldera. Like we did not go whole hog into this and grinded our faces off. Because if you had, I can only imagine how you're feeling at this point. Going, I've done it all, and
yeah,
if we're there, I can only imagine how those folks feel who have done it all and are like, okay, now what?
Yeah, I'm excited for what Cool Arms is going to bring, and then Renegades. Obviously, it's just that's quite exciting. I mean, getting back to Renegades, we had a preview trailer this week, and then Bungie this week in the TWID broke down what we saw in the trailer with all the different weapons and the exotic armor pieces, which is pretty cool. But there is still kind of that looming shadow of what we heard last week from, I think it was Sweatsicles. He said that his friends had gone and played, and then Lucky did the video watch kind of thing. So I mean, who knows? I mean, apparently there has been a secret summit, and we should see some of the footage coming out sometime in the next couple of weeks of people who were invited to Bungie and were able to record some of the Renegade stuff. So that's cool. But we weren't invited again, were we? I mean, you really. I mean, I haven't got a passport, but you can go. You're close.
Yeah, and I mean, after the, I don't know, I'll be curious to see. I mean, looking at, maybe we should just head into the TWAB and things for this week. Looking at that trailer. I mean, again, I enjoy Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm not like, oh my god, Star Wars. Like that's not the draw for me. And I'm looking at the trailer and the new weapons, going, yeah, no, they're very Star Warsy. They're very Bungie themed Star Wars.
Yeah.
I can't say there was anything that really made me, any single thing where I was like, that's the one. That's what I want. That's what I'm here for. Which again is fine. Like I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play a lot of this game, but I don't know, the thing you called with the jetpack. It's like, yeah, no, that'll be fun, but like it's, I don't know. I'm reservedly excited for it. I don't know.
Yeah, you could say that.
I mean, I'm still going to play. I'm still excited to play, but there's nothing that really made me go, oh man, like Bungie loves to build some hype, but I didn't really, I don't know. There was nothing in here where I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the thing. That's the draw for me. Which again, like it's fine. Again, I'm not going anywhere. But I don't know. What was your take on, or was there anything when you said, "Yep, that's the fantasy I want to live out"? That's the thing.
I mean, the lightsaber for me is the thing. It's like now I've got my sword build with my Titan, and my strongholds are just going to be amazing. And what can I do with that lightsaber? Is my next question. It's like I found how I want to play the game, and I'm glad that we kind of reverted it, Bungie, back to how it was with the strongholds, and now I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I like the idea of like the bowcaster and Han Solo's weapon being in there, and like the sniper. Will I get them? Yes, but as a Star Wars fan, I wasn't blown away like, oh, Star Wars, apart from the lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean the weapon the weapons are weapons, and yeah, I mean some of the guns do look fun. Again, they're not entirely my cup of tea, but again, I can see they do look fun and they are interesting. They are again Star Wars in the Bungie universe. Like they said they were going to bring us. They do look like fun, but yeah, it's all, it's just a fantasy that Yeah, I don't want to run around with a blaster necessarily.
You might do.
Yeah.
Might do really good things.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the funny thing is about Renegades coming out and the way that it looks in like the Vidoc and the way that they're kind of presenting it, with you having to kind of balance these kind of syndicates, kind of do different jobs for them. What is it that what we're going to be doing? Is it something called bounties? Are we going to be doing bounties that have just been taken out of the game? I'm a bit confused, Bungie. Are we doing bounties or not doing bounties?
We're playing bounties for the Drifter. We're running bounties for the Dredgings.
Gambit then. Gambit.
So we're back to we're back to Gambit and bounties. Everything old is new.
It does make me laugh, but I think the new system with the bounties and kind of having to work for these different syndicates is going to be quite fun. Whether it maintains people's kind of playtime is a different thing. But as we know, our friend Gator loves a bounty.
I love a bounty. Give me things to do. Give me Dredgings to please. Work against the Dredgings. What if I want to work with the Dredgings? What if I'm like, listen, I think the Vanguard has gone astray, and I would like to ally with the Dredgings instead.
You had your chance to do that a long time ago. Nothing came of it. Get over it.
Yeah, I know, and I did, and yeah, absolutely nothing came of it.
But yeah, I mean, as we're here with we're talking about This Week in Destiny for the 6th of November, we've got a preview of Call to Arms, and that is kicking off next week. And the thing, I mean, I thought they would tell us more about what's actually coming next week with how you would do the stuff, go and visit Devram K. He's going to be in the tower for the first time. That is the big thing. He's going to be in the tower. Don't know if he's going to have a gear set up a bit like Eva is with the festival. Maybe he is, or maybe we've got to go and find him. Maybe he's down with Saint. Maybe he's hanging out down in the hangar there. But he's going to be in the tower, and there's going to be a daily box that's going to have gear in it, which is you just log on each day and go and grab your free gear. And what they don't actually say in the kind of the TWAB this week, but actually looking in the light.gg and kind of the descriptions for these things, the gear drops that you're getting, apart from the first one that you get is going to be kind of this box that you kind of go and grab from Devram. But after that, each day that you log in, it looks like it depends on the score that you've done for the previous day. So if you compete in like events and do really good high scores, you're going to get more rewards, as it should be. But I think that's something they kind of needed to have put into the TWAB this week and just say, you need to log on, you need to do some of the events, you'll get rewarded for doing some of the events. Yes, they are portal events and there's still going to be stuff that's there. But yeah, it's like really confusing. And like, how's the scoring going to work? Is it going to be overall for a week, or is it going to be overall for the event? How long's the event going to be? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? I want some answers, please, Bungie. But we didn't really kind of get that in the TWAB this week.
Yeah, again, just like what, maybe I'm excited to play Call to Arms. But what is it? You're not going to get people to come back if they don't know what they're coming back to or for. Like
it's mini Guardian games. Mini Guardian games is what it is.
So why can't Bungie just say that?
Because they don't want to call it Guardian games, because then that encroaches on the other thing.
Yeah. Here's what it is. Here's how it works. Here's, and if the entire point is, to continue, to continue to play and build on your scores, that would be nice to know. So if you're, showing up on Friday or showing up on the weekend, after the first week and going, oh, well, if I had hopped on and played, 20 minutes here or half an hour there, I could have gotten better rewards out of this. I would just be irritated that I didn't know that ahead of time. Yeah. Like, can we not tell people things, Bungie? Come on, guys. Like, set a single expectation.
But the other thing they do mention is like you can attune your weapons. So any of the weapons that are going to be featured, you can attune those and have a chance to get the Hollow 4 version. And it's a different Hollow 4 version, which I didn't kind of tweak. I mean, they have got pictures in the TWAB. There's a green version of the combat bow. But looking back on the old trackernesses that we had beforehand and looking on light.gg, each time an event has come around, there's been a slightly different variation with the Hollow 4 that you got for that event. So yes, I've got a trackerness and I've got the sword as well from each of those, not Call to Arms, but Arms Week events. but each holofoil on those is completely different from the previous version. And then this one, again, all the holofoils are going to be green, so they're different from the holofoils that you got from the other events. So if you got your God roll last time with a holofoil, well done for you, but you have a chance to get a green version now. It's not like you can take it off of this and put it on another one.
It'd be neat if we could.
Yeah, it'd be nice, yeah.
My Iron Banner holofoil. That you can tell me it's not, but that's exactly what this is.
Oh, yeah, or Gambit holofoil. Oh, I did get from Evil Levante when I was turning in some of the candy. I did actually get some of the mementos to drop, not from actually playing any of the Festival of the Lost stuff. It was throwing candy at her. I got the mementos to drop, so I can confirm mementos are still dropping in Festival of the Lost to be put on the old weapons. You can't put them on new weapons, but yeah. And the other thing that Devram's going to have is Lawless vouchers. They were formerly cutting-edge procurements. And these contain a random assortment of new Season 28 gear and other items. And looking at, light.gg, and I actually watched Houndish's video, it sounds like we might not actually be able to open these packages until we get to Season 28. We might be able to see what's available in them, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of concrete yes. So I don't think it's going to be like the lightsabers or the kind of the feature gear like the bowcaster or Han Solo's weapon or the sniper rifle that are kind of Star Wars themed. I think it's going to be the gear that they've kind of either reprised or it's new gear with different skins that's going to be for Renegades that's going to be available in these packages. And I don't know whether it's going to be that you can open those packages and use it now in this season before we get to Renegades, or it's going to be something that you kind of you can pop it open and it kind of says, right, you're going to get this when Renegades drops, kind of thing. So again, I mean, I've tried to do my research. I've tried to look at other people's videos to see what they found out, and it just seems quite ambiguous. Which again, Bungie would have been nice to know in the TWAB this week. How are they going to work? You say Lawless vouchers. Are they just vouchers that we turn in when we get to Renegades? Because that would be nice. I mean, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but it would just be nice to know ahead of time. You know, can we collect like 999 vouchers, or are we limited to like 20? What's behind these vouchers? Just some information, please.
How many vouchers can Night Demon hoard? That's all he wants to know.
I mean, they do say click here to check out the TWAB where they did break down the event, and yeah, I mean, they go over what the event home's going to have. So the activities, heliostat coil, salt mines, proving grounds, cutting edge zone control, and some of the rewards, but they don't go through the whole thing. It's really weird.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it just again, it would be nice to know what to expect, and
yeah, it would have had a bit more of a breakdown of you did tell us a couple of weeks back, but it would be nice to say, right, these are the things that we've refined, like changing the names of these because they are going to just be vouchers and not actually weapons and gear that's going to be available now, kind of thing. But hey ho, we're getting more Twitch drops, so that's good. So during the event, 2 exclusive Twitch drops will be available to earn. So you can receive a legendary Call to Arms themed shader for watching any Destiny 2 streamer for at least 30 minutes, and receive an exotic ghost shell for gifting a sub to your favorite streamer.
I think it's the first time they've done any kind of drop that wasn't an emblem.
Just an emblem, yeah.
Yeah.
So the ghost shell is called the Baroque shell. It looks pretty cool. It's a green tingy metal with some feathers on it and a couple of bows. And so that's not on the reward track. That's going to be available for just watching a Twitch streamer for 30 minutes. And I think the shader is the one that they've put on the pop-up for when you log in on Tuesday. There's 2 different shaders. One's going to be actually on the reward track, and I think that's burnished something. And the other one that I couldn't find the name of, which was hidden in the database, obviously is the other Twitch drop. So pretty cool. But as we're kind of talking about Call to Arms, I might as well drop in what's happening next week in Destiny, or this week in Destiny while you hear this now. And then we'll come back and we'll talk more Renegade stuff. I say talk, just me and Peroty talk. You can listen to us talk.
I mean, they're more than welcome to talk. We just can't hear them.
Yeah, you can talk at us, and you can send feedback to us at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com if you want us to talk back at you or join the Discord and talk at us. But listen to what's happening next week now, and then feedback after.
There you go.
This is your weekly rundown for the Edge of Fate, Week 18, starting on November 11th. Week 10 of the Ashen Iron update brings a new limited time event, Call to Arms, running up until the reset on December 1st and is free to all players. Players will go head to head in several playlist activities to earn high scores, unlock rewards and loot. You can find the Call to Arms on the main portal tab with its own event home, where it has its own exclusive reward pass, with 40 items on its reward track. And playing the event and completing challenges progress your ranks, unlocking exclusive gear and rewards. These include a new exotic weapon ornament for the exotic pulse rifle, New Malpaeus, a new shader, Battle of Burnish, and a new transmat effect, Battle of Determination, a new exotic speeder, Streamline Modern, a new exotic ship, Chromium 24, and a new exotic ghost shell, the Supersonic Shell, plus the Unwoven Tangle emblem, and the first of the new emblem. Completing daily and weekly event challenges also reward event tokens, which can be used in the Call to Arms reward shop, which has its own gear and rewards. To kick off the event, Guardians must first visit Devon Kate in the tower, and collect the quest Armament Protocol, which consists of several steps, including completing a Call to Arms Crucible match or solo ops activity. Focused activities include the exotic mission Heliostat, the Coil, the Salt Mines, Proving Grounds, and Zone Control. Every event activity contributes to your overall event score, which updates every 15 minutes on the in-game Call to Arms board. And reaching top tier ranks can earn you the exclusive Seraphim Flame helmet, which also has a cover ornament, only available through the event ranks reward track. Devrim also has daily rotating weapons and gear, which players can attune and earn by completing activities, with a chance to receive their holofoil variant. These include the Subversion Combat Bow, the Romantic Death Grenade Launcher, the Folded Root Rocket Launcher, the Ribbon-Tail Trace Rifle, the Sanatia Sword, Venutia Fera Hand Cannon, and the Trachinus Shotgun. Devrim will also be importing daily shipments that feature powerful gear from different activities. And additionally, Devrim has also arranged for new cutting-edge procurements to be delivered to those who participate in the Call to Arms, in the form of Lawless Vouchers. These vouchers contain a random assortment of new Season 28 gear and other goodies, designed to help you get a head start in Renegades. Call to Arms also features a new seal and title to unlock called Avant-Garde. Chance to complete are Mortal Coil, Ground Proof, Deep in the Zone, Nice and Salty, Helio There, Heated Harmonies, Loot Grabber, Track Star, and Ultimately Armed. Call to Arms runs into the reset on December 1st, 2025. In the Portal Swaps this week will be Competitive, Control, Zone Control, and a variant of Cutting Edge, with Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Other non-featured modes of 3v3 Countdown and 6v6 Checkmate Control can be found over on the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera. In the fighting mods we have the 3 new Reclaim missions, Cabal's Watch, Conductor's Keep, and Fallen Bunker, Battlegrounds Behemoth, and Episode Echo's Core, 3 additional strikes of Hypernet Current, Insight Terminus, and Fallen Saber, 3 expeditions from Season of Plunder, Nessus, Cosmodrome, and Europa. We also have the strikes of Liminality, the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, the Inverted Spire, and the Glassway, Battlegrounds Oracle, Foothold, Delve, and Conduit, Empire Hunts the Warrior, Technocrat, and Dark Priestess, with Savathun Spire Offensive. In the Pinnacle Ops we have the 3 dungeon layers, Pit of Heresy beneath the Necropolis, Duality Nightmare of Goron, and Warlord's Ruin Heaven's Vengeance. The new exotic mission Heliostat with the Wolfsbane exotic axe as the main reward. Move from fighting mods we have Onslaught Widow's Call and Midtown, Episode Revenant Contest of Elders with the Coil. Exotic missions Presage with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward, the Season the Haunted, and opulent weapon sets, plus the Idolian Pursuant armor set, Node Override Avalon with Excalibur exotic glaive being the main reward, and the Season the Defiance weapon set, Starcrossed with the Wishkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, and the Season the Wish weapon set, the Whisper with the Whisper of the Worm exotic sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall with the Slayer's Fang exotic shotgun being the main reward, and Encore with the Choir of One auto rifle being the main reward. On Kepler, featured mission 1 this week will be Quarantine, and featured mission 2 will be Message. This week's challenges are Cold Winds, Arcing Sparks, and Last Rites. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in Ria Silvia and has the Dark Monastery mission for the next week. The Blind One features Taken Enemies and the Plague Mina. The Ascendant Challenge will be the Keeper of Honed Edges over in the Harbinger Seclude. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep, the Trove Guardian is located in the Hellmouth, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Zydron, Servitude, Tanix, Isolation, and Skolas, Pride. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Fogoth and the Blasphemer Shotgun. On Europa this week, Praxisi Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. Days of Eternity expert difficulty rounds are Hive, Vex, and Valister Arc. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 2. Skaithlock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is the Communion, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on attack with the Kinetic Bow, Feltar Diddle, and Borgon Hive Knight as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is Downfall, the Partition mission will be Hard Reset, and the Vex Incursion will be Liming Harbour. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The 12th Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Lost Sector rotation for this week will start with Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, The Quarry on the EDZ, Perdition on Europa, K1 Communion on the Moon, Gilded Precept on Neptune, The Conflux on Nessus, Extraction on the Throne World, and The Forgotten Deep in the Pale Heart. With the Edge of Fate, all raids and all challenges are now available all the time, and at present there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week. And the Ashen Iron update now allows you to farm past raids and dungeons for their respective exotic weapons, with no weekly lockouts. The new raid, the Desert Perpetual over on Kepler, has now been updated with a normal and epic version, with both dropping Tier 3 plus loot, with a chance of the exotic rocket launcher Whirling Ovation to drop. The Sundered Doctrine dungeon can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality Zaga up for grabs. The exotic mission rotator will be Starcrossed, over in the Legends tab, with the Wishkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, and the Season the Wish weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the 10th week of Ashen Iron. So Renegades, we did quickly go over the trailer and how impressed or not impressed we were. But they do break down the weapons that we do see in the trailer. So they're introducing a couple of new weapon subfamilies alongside Renegades. And one of them is completely new type. So heat weapons, as you would kind of expect, lasers, just that they need to be shot until they kind of, they hiss and the steam coming out the side of it and you've overheated it, I guess. So they don't have magazines. Instead, they have heat sinks. Allow them to fire ammo directly from reserve while generating heat with each shot. And they can be manually vented to displace the heat at will. But be careful, overheating these weapons will force a sustained vent before you can fire again. They also have a couple of new stats to look out for. So heat generated, how much heat is generated per shot. Cooling efficiency, how quickly the weapon will cool down when not being fired. And vent speed, how fast the weapon reduced heat when manually venting or overheated. And they split the heated weapons up into 2 archetypes. So you've got dynamic, which is the high base damage, high heat generation, which cools down more rapidly between shots, and balanced, very low heat generation. Manually venting at very high heat greatly increases venting speed. In addition to the above benefits, primary ammo heat weapons have the intrinsic effect of dealing bonus damage to powerful combatants. And keep an eye out for their new heat-based perks and some fun interactions that they have added to some exotic armors, existing perks, and subclass atoms. So the modified B7 pistol, which I think is the one which is the Han Solo one, is a hand cannon, stasis, and it's a dynamic heat weapon. All or Nothing is a pulse rifle, and that's Strand. That's another dynamic heat weapon. The M17 Fast Talker, which is a submachine gun, which is stasis, and that's a balanced heat weapon. Compact Defender, which is a sidearm, Void, dynamic heat weapon. Uncivil Discourse, which is a special ammo hand cannon, that's going to be arc, and it's dynamic heat weapon. The refurbished A499, which is a heavy ammo sniper rifle, kinetic, and disruption weapon, fires a single heavy hit round, disintegrates targets on impact. That sounds cool. So I think, that's the bounty hunter sniper that they have. Praxic Blade, special ammo sword, special ammo, kinetic exotic.
So Bungie, I have a very Very important question on behalf of my co-host here. The special ammo sword that you fix to work with the strongholds, is this special ammo sword also going to work with the strongholds? Or did we not test this one well enough so when it comes out he can't actually block with this special ammo sword? Just asking questions, just curious.
I mean, this is nearly as good as kind of what we've got at the moment. I can still run dual swords, so sometimes I run like a heavy sword, and then I'll run like the Ergo Sum as well in my special, and just swap between the two, generating two different things. And this one sounds pretty cool that it's going to be in the kinetic slot. So again, generating special ammo, but I can swap between the two swords. So depending on what they kind of these practic blades do, it's going to be amazing. I'm just going to love it. And then heirloom,
you can run
which
three
is
swords. You can run a tri-sword build.
No, because I haven't got a special ammo legendary sword, so I can't run. You give people triple bows. Why can't I have triple swords?
Come on, triple swords. Oops, all blades. Come on.
Yeah. And then heirloom, which is the bowcaster, the Chewy bowcaster. It's a special ammo crossbow, solar, and exotic. So yeah, those are those cool things. And then the exotic armors. So the hunters have got the Hunter's Fortune's Favour. After landing a final blow while at full health, or when out of combat for an extended duration, your shield will recharge into an overshield. And when you have an overshield, your weapon gains increased accuracy, stability, handling, and damage against combatants. And final blows will grant a short period of increased mobility once the overshield is depleted. How do we feel about that? That's just too many overshields for hunters. They don't need overshields. They're sneaky enough as it is. Invisible hunters with overshields is all I can see in the Crucible now. Mm-hmm. I won't be able to see them, but you know what I mean. Just
you'll just know they're there because you're dead.
Yeah.
And you'll just have a knife sticking out of your forehead, and then you'll hear giggling as they roll away, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Titans, we get the Praxic Vestment, gain an air move jetpack. Weapons and arc-powered melee final blows build up jetpack fuel, activating your jetpack while airborne with a forceful blast that exhausts nearby enemies, then fly forward based on the amount charged. Collide with combatants to unleash a blinding blast of arc energy and gain temporary bonus to your melee stat. So,
interesting. Yeah. So airborne shoulder charge,
which we kind of do. Well, we can kind of do now.
Airborne shoulder charge
with Dune Marchers, but yeah, this is literally flying at people. So maybe that's gonna take some time. You know, you've got to build it up with your arc-powered weapons. But then, if you die in the Crucible, is it going to be? Will you still keep the charge? I'm not saying that I'm going to use it, but I'm just saying.
Right. Just will it be viable at all? Will it be something you can even do?
I mean, I can see that it's going to be absolutely fine in PvE activities, but for messing about in PvP, is it going to be? I mean, the Hunters thing, yeah, that's no problem with that. But
yeah,
Titans, is it going to be? Yeah. Warlocks get the Daimos Fusion. Daimos Fusion. Why use?
The big word, Demos Fusion, sure, we'll go with that. Mm-hmm. They'll suffuse the D. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. While a Strand Super is equipped, casting a Rift will suspend nearby enemies. Suspend deals damage over time, healing you in the process. Combatants who break free from the suspension suffer additional damage. Defeating suspended targets heals you for a moderate amount. Editor's note: this originally said it would suspend combatants, but this will actually suspend both combatants and players. There you go. And we will link the weapons and gear trailer in the show notes because it's worth a watch.
So this is just like the boots you have now that will consistently hit enemies with arc, except it'll do strand and suspend them instead and work in PvP until they turn it off.
Yeah.
Although I guess to be fair, if you're close enough to the Warlock and they have long enough to press the Rift button to call up the Rift, then you were meant to be suspended anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's another way for Warlock to use Rift. Yeah, the Hunter one looks fun. I'm not sure about the other two, but yeah, we'll see when we get into the game. Could be something fun to add to the Warlock's kit. And the Titan will see how mashing into people with a jetpack feels.
Yeah, it's going to upset some people.
Creative ways to continue to give the Titan different ways to use melees.
Yeah.
Do you guys like punching things? Well, here's a different way to punch things. Is it different though?
You have to charge it up and then you can fly at them.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Different enough. Don't worry. Just don't ask questions. And we're going to celebrate Veterans Day next week with a Veterans Vanguard at Bungie. By we, I mean the U.S. I'm assuming your Veterans Day is not November 11th, but
no, it is.
You know.
I mean, it's Remembrance Day because it's
well, there we go.
To do with World War II and World War I. It's the day that they kind of remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that you had a Veterans Day on that day until like a couple of years back talking to you guys. So.
Yep. Yeah. I'm never sure of these, obviously, Bungie's US based. I'm never sure if these things are universal or, obviously, every country has veterans remembrances. It's just, when do they fall? So I didn't know if you were like, yep, this is the thing you all are doing and I know nothing about it, or yep, this is about the right time for this thing to have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Veterans Vanguard at Bungie, our new Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Association, dedicated to supporting those in the workforce who have, background in service. So we're going to have in recognition of Veterans and Military Families Month, we're spotlighting two organizations, the Gold Star Gamers and Stack Up, both lead incredible work to promote mental well-being, connection, and resilience through gaming and tech. And you can get things for the month of November. So there's a pin and an emblem. You can order the new Be Courageous collectible pin and receive the accompanying code for the Tribute to Bravery emblem. With each purchase, $7 will be donated to the Bungie Foundation to support Gold Gamers and Stack Up. Gold Star Gamers and Stack Up. I can read words. And if you donate $10 to the Bungie Foundation campaign by November 30th, you'll receive the Tribute to Bravery emblem. All net proceeds will also go to Gold Star Gamers and Stack Up. And if you've been anywhere near this game, you can get an idea of what the emblem looks like. It's the fist holding the thunderbolt with dog tags, and the emblem has dog tag with a lightning bolt and a 7 on it because Bungie loves their 7s, and a nice military camo green in the background. So very good for all those lush green environments you're fighting in Destiny. And let's see, we are at as we record Saturday, November 8th, and their goal is $10,000, and they are at $9,845. So of course they will blow through that goal because that's what the Bungie community does. But yeah, you can donate and get your things, or not donate, not get your things. I won't tell you what to do either way. If you don't want to donate though, and you want to play dress up, we have the Cosplay Cosmodrome returning. So you may remember back on the final shape, we saw some incredible creative cosplayers stun us with their different cosplays, from Micah 10 to The Witness. Well, it's back again for Renegades, and we have more cosplayers from all around the globe ready to represent. And they have a whole separate article on Cosplay Cosmodrome, which gives you a little bit about each person and a photo of their frankly incredible looking work. So go there and enjoy. There's a bunch of redacted things upcoming, which feels a little lame, Bungie, to be like, here's this person that you may know from the content that we haven't released yet, being that character that you have not met yet. But sometime in about a month, we'll know who that person is, and then we can appreciate how good they look in relation to who that character is. I mean, they all look amazing. Let's be honest here. All the cosplay is incredible, but I looked at some of them going, I don't know who that is. And there's a reason for that, because you haven't told us yet. It's also last week of the Festival of the Lost. So by the time you hear this, it's basically done. You've either played it or you haven't. Bungie does want to clarify, when update 9.1.5.5 goes live on Tuesday, the power of the Masquerade helmet will be reduced to 0. Please don't fret if you log in and see that your power is lower. So that's also to say, if you've been getting them and not just infusing one on top of the other or trashing the rest, that's what you should do. If you're a pack rat, put one in your vault for next year, just so you can have a collection of, one of them for this year, as well as all of your, past chicken masks and everything else. But remember that, there's no reason to hoard those Power of the Masquerade helmets, because they will have 0 light level come Tuesday when Festival of the Lost ends.
So infuse them do it Monday. Just when you're hearing this show, do it before the reset. If you hear the show after the reset, then I'm sorry that we didn't tell you ahead of time. But infuse it into a helmet that you actually want to use past Festival of the Lost.
Yep.
Especially if it's a high-powered one.
Yeah, particularly if it's a high-powered one, because it should be after Festival of the Lost.
Hmm.
And we have final fashion creation picks. They've already shared a bunch of great fashion and creations in our social media this week. But before Festival of the Lost ends, they wanted to show us a couple more. So we have Cade back again. Young Amankara's body. And actually, how many of these before I... Okay, yeah, there's another whole batch of these. I'm not going to go read all of them out.
My favourite is the poster at the bottom, the Festival of the Lost red and black poster. I do like that. It's really cool.
I quite like the lean man in the distance, the creepy visage in the subway car.
Very cool.
Ooh, yeah, that poster is also very good. Yeah, classic horror poster indeed. I still have the Shadowkeep Destiny 2 background on this computer from when they released it with the moon and the red castle in the background. That's one of my favorite images they've ever released. Love it. And then there's kitty cats, and there's a cat approved mask. A number of cat approved masks. Well, I don't know if the cat approves, but the cat is there and wearing them, so thus tacit approval.
And the Festival of the Lost sale has been extended, so it now concludes on November 11th. So you've got a few more days left on the Bungie store products, including an additional 20% off the last chance items and $7.77 flat rate shipping. And that's only available to EU, US, and UK. So if you live outside of those, maybe find a friend and get them to order it and send it and buy it for you.
You can get your flat rate shipping and your emblem with the cracking moon and the scary people in the distance.
Well, yeah.
Or not. Again, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money or not. I will tell you that we are here at the Player Support Report.
Now, please surprise me. Am I going to have to settle in with a drink and a nice cozy chair and have you tell me a billion things that they've kind of fixed and not fixed and things like that? Or is it, short and sweet this week?
You would think so.
Oh, okay.
And I'm certain if you were to click the full list of known issues, I'm certain it probably is a long laundry list there. But this week, they've just given us the cream of the crop, just the best of the best, just the knownest of the issues. The first one, which, I've complained about for years, that still no one has patched. Daylight savings time has ended. With the end of daylight savings time, please be aware the daily and weekly resets have been returned to 9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. noon EST, and that's UTC, -8, or 1700 UTC. Basically, it did the hour shift. You know where you live at this point. The hour has changed. The reset is now an hour different. And we'll all do this again in a few months and be just as cranky about it then. That's happened. And most importantly, we've had to figure out what the difference is between the US and the UK on when they make their changes, and if it's the same weekend or a different weekend, and how many hours we are apart. Can we just drop this whole nonsense? Why are we still doing this? This is stupid.
Well, no, I do like it sometimes because I'm then 4 hours closer to you opposed to 5 hours, and it just feels like that big C in the middle is smaller, basically.
Mm-hmm. You're just trying to take us back over. You're just trying to extend the empire.
No, you're fine.
We're on to you.
You stay there.
Now our other known issues that are more Destiny focused. The Sparrow in the Desert Perpetual cannot be earned. Just can't be earned. So if you're looking for the Sparrow out of the raid, don't. Players can sometimes earn armor not from their currently played class in the Desert Perpetual while attuned to Epic Raid weapons. So if you're trying to get a particular weapon out of the Epic Raid, you may get armor pieces from a class you are not playing, which seems interesting.
That does tend to happen sometimes with the Eververse. You could be playing a character and you suddenly get an ornament for a hunter and you're like, I'm a Titan. What's going on? I appreciate it, but if I was just a Titan main and I didn't have a hunter, why?
So that bug has made its way into the Desert Perpetual Epic, at least the Epic version. Previewing, this one will be less important next week. Previewing some Festival of the Lost masks in collection will bring up the incorrect visuals. So they'll maybe fix that by next year, or we'll be reading this again this time next year. Hard to say. And they've disabled the liminality strike while we address an issue with the scoring. So I don't know if it's not scoring. I don't know if it's scoring too high, too low. If, there's an issue, so they just turned it off and said, you don't need this. There's also, they changed the trials map this weekend from, I think, Dissonance to Javelin 4.
Oh, I hate Dissonance.
Yeah, the one that nobody likes and shouldn't have trials on it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just saw, and I'll see if I can find the tweet. They tweeted about it earlier. But just something about, due to feedback, we're changing it. So I don't know if it was just like, hey guys, nobody wants to play this, so we're just not. Please change this map, or if there was an actual issue that was encountered. But either way, that's been changed, so that'll either matter to you or it won't. And then we have Art of the Week, The Lord of the Rings, The Fire Team of the Ring, as our Movie of the Week winner, and our Clan Knight Fire Team standing atop. They're victorious.
Judge of the past, that is.
Okay, yeah, I was just to say, it looks like the raid that you can't play anymore, but good job. Yeah, and Renegades is almost here, less than a month away. But first, you need to prepare by calling your arms, arming your calls, whatever it's called. Devon will have a cup of tea ready as you raise your power and get to the top of the ranks. See you on the frontier.
Yeah,
and then we had some cat-based images hidden through the
no, you haven't, because I can't access them. When I click on those little things, it says that I don't have access in the UK. I'm like, why not? Picking on me, eh? I can't see your cats.
Well, the first one is a cat in a stroller wearing a tuxedo, it looks like. And the second one seems to be a remembrance of a cat, like a bunch of flowers and things. So, someone's cat may no longer be with us. I don't know which cat. I don't know if this is, I have no context, but yeah. And so if you're in the UK, you don't get to know. It's a secret.
Or maybe it's just me. Other people in the UK might know.
Yeah, maybe just you personally. Here. I will for you put these in Discord for you, so then you can see. Here's our first cat, our stroller cat, and then our in memoriam cat. For again, don't know whose cat this is and what happened, but poor kitty cats.
Oh,
but the stroller cat is superb.
I did think that this week we would be here discussing a lot more. There would be a lot more to kind of go through because, I mean, we did mention at the top of the show. It's like you did say in your TWAB last week or your tweet last week that we would have a sneak peek into the more immediate future with a sandbox preview of changes coming in Renegades this week. So this is the next week, and it's not there. Yeah. So, but apparently it's coming next week. So next week there'll be a longer episode of me and Peroty talking about sandbox stuff. Will there be enough people left to play Renegades or come back to play Renegades to really care about that sandbox change? Who knows?
And it's like I understand needing to update the sandbox, I guess, but am I excited to read that we're changing this gun a little bit and we're adjusting its, numbers somehow? No, not really. But hey, here we are.
Yeah.
And so 15 hours ago as we record, we've heard your feedback regarding this week's feature map for trials. The map has been updated to Javelin 4. So yeah, I'm assuming it's just nobody wanted to play that map, so they've changed it.
Maybe. Yeah. Keep it away from that map.
And speaking of our Crucible talk, due to the Clash playlist not being available, they've auto completed the superfluous seasonal challenge for all players.
Ooh.
So you have to give us the content to even try to get the weekly challenges for it, because this is the second or third one they've done because they simply haven't made the game mode available for us to play. But those have been given to us. We talked about our N7 trials. Yeah, trials was on Dissonance. Everburning Galitz is the auto rifle of the weekend. And I don't think, the rest of this was stuff we've already touched on.
What about the Destiny 2 update 9.1.5.4? We haven't told people that they fixed issues with the Festival of the Lost,
the
Haunted Altars. That they've done that, but I think you did tell people about that was coming last week, or they fixed it last week.
Yeah, we did. We did our best to tell them, but honestly, at this point, they don't care because it's over. Basically,
Yeah.
the liminality strike has been disabled from the portal. They fixed an issue where players were getting kicked mid-activity and couldn't interact with the portal. Also, where expeditions could not complete nor provide rewards after defeating the final boss, which seems sort of silly. They made a bunch of scoring adjustments to the following activities to make it easier to reach 10,000. Insight Terminus, Devil's Lair, Inverted Spire, Battlegrounds, Oracle, Behemoth, Conduit, and Foothold. So all of those, they tweak the scoring to make it easier to reach the 10,000 activity score to give you, honestly, whatever that gives you. I don't know if that's A or A plus, or I've stopped tracking all the scoring changes and just going, I'm going to play this and see what happens.
Yeah.
They fixed an issue with the Onslaught Midtown where players could sometimes not leave the boss arena on wave 25, and an issue with Reclaim Fallen Bunker where players could sometimes not progress after the second area. Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than getting through a longer activity and then not being able to complete it and get your rewards from it. Hey, they fixed an issue where the Hushed Whisper Bow, your Festival of the Lost reward, was doing less damage than intended. Now we wait for Herna's montage. So yeah, if you were unimpressed with the Whisper Bow, try it again. Maybe it'll be better for you now. Also, you can put your Ghost Rider title on. In theory, that was supposedly fixed. And then finally, the issue that caused items held in the hand of the Veiled Haunting Hunter set, the Masked Milliner's Titan set, and the Formal Shadow Warlock set to unexpectedly appear in first-person view during combat situations. Those have all been fixed. So now you can actually see when you're, fighting people.
Cool.
And yeah, and then just a reminder to pick up any of the Festival of the Lost stuff before it goes away, because once it's gone, it's gone. And then you'll be sad you didn't pick it up and won't be as pretty as your friends. And then I don't think I have watched a single video this week because I have been neck deep in work and I have many things to watch, but I'm not sure I've actually watched anything. So
I have a
couple
of videos.
I'm sure you've watched something worth telling the people about that don't use the word roadmap.
Well, I'm going to give you a video from Lucky Tempe, which is him going over Jake pleading with them at the Bungie Secret Summit. So that's kind of how I found out about this Secret Summit that's been going on. Destiny Fun Police, this Stasis Auto Rifle is ridiculous, and this roll is perfect. So I think this is one that you can get from collections. I haven't actually gone and had a look in my collections. So check that video out, because these fast-firing auto rifles are amazing in PvP. And if you've got a stasis build, you can kind of build into it. So that was pretty cool. Cheese Forever did kind of tease me with finally a roadmap update, and really caught me off guard. And just, I hate you, Cheese.
Yeah, and it was just DMG basically, like we talked about DMG saying, so I shouldn't have said the word roadmap.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, apart from those ones, I mean, everything else, I'm not being nasty to any of the other kind of content creators. It's like you've got to create content for people, what people want to kind of watch. And if it's Arc Raiders and other things, then, you do that. But just, yeah.
Yeah, there's just not much out there right now. Again, like there's a couple things I could probably point people toward that I have not watched, but I'm fairly confident they haven't done anything terrible halfway through the video to make me regret talking about it. I mean, Duddits did put out a kinetic lightsaber. Go get TechSec and have some fun with the TechSec armor set and the kinetic lightsaber. So maybe there's some synergy there. You should go watch that and have some fun. And speaking of auto rifles, Kami Cake's, almost competitive auto rifle lethal abundance PvP, which we've talked about a handful of times.
Yeah, he jumped on the bandwagon that Destiny Fun Police put out the video a couple of weeks ago. I did see that and I avoided it because I thought, I went with my boy, Destiny Fun Police. He told me about it the first time, told me about it the second time. But you can put it in, it's fine.
And he'll tell you about it the next time too, which is what I appreciate about him.
Yeah.
People will be like, didn't he talk about this? Yeah, but you weren't there then, or you don't remember then. It's there, keeping things fresh and new. Yeah, and I had seen the Lucky Tempe video about the secret thing and Jake pleading with them, but I haven't had the time to sit down and watch that video. No. So yeah, there's a handful of other builds that I have saved that I want to check out for the Titan, because I don't really have anything nothing's exciting me on the Titan right now. When I can use the multi-buddy build on the Warlock and it's so good, just the idea of, you can punch things or run stasis, like it's fine, but it's not exciting. It just feels like the same thing that I've done over and over again. So I've been looking for something, newer and fresher for the Titan, just to see what else is out there. So I've got a couple to build and try out, but I haven't actually watched the video yet. They're just sitting in my D2 builds list. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have something in the coming week. And yeah, if people have been at the Secret Summit, we'll see when the NDA lifts or when they can start talking about things. And I'm sure there will be a stream to a flood of something coming out about all that.
Yep. Hopefully some good stuff and some good reactions. So.
Yep. The only other thing I'm going to throw in is, on Reddit, someone has made the all-known Renegades weapons and Star Wars blasters they reference. So if you want to, make those connections of Star Wars to Destiny, there's a list that's, I'm assuming is people will comment on and go, oh, there's also this and also this, because when there's tie-ins, it's fun to link those two tie-ins together, because, hey, people like Star Wars.
We do.
And we're going to have a Star Wars soon.
We are.
And I think we only have one more thing to do until we get out of here until next week, is to thank our lovely patrons, our marvelous human beings. And I'd like to thank Wart Wizard for joining our Patreon this week, because he said, I've watched Golden God 1562, Noble, the Man Conan from Texas, and Feral throw more grenades. That looks like so much fun. I too want to throw grenades, because recording is hard enough, reading is hard enough. When you're trying to dodge a grenade while you're recording, is there anything harder?
Oh, that's what you've been up to today.
Truly. And Renard Kalant's threatening us with a good time, because he's threatening them to throw more grenades at us. And also, I expect a full review of the cat photos in this week's TWAB. I need to know, do these cat photos meet your high standards?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is the cat man. That's I don't know if that's what his lot in life wanted to be, but that's what it is now. I do make the rules because they're all made up. And thank you for all our lovely patrons who have gone to patreon.com/TTH and said, we appreciate you. We hang out with you. And hey, if you do want to join us, we do have Discord links. We don't really ever talk about the Discord, but we do have links in the show notes every week. And if you want to hang out in the Discord with us, we're there. We mosey around periodically. Our patrons have a lovely secret patron Discord that we talk all sorts of nonsense in. This week, I think, was lots of good, terrible dad jokes and Star Trek Legos. I saw lots of Star Trek Legos going by. So yeah, we're a small but fun group, and sometimes the Brits go on their British nonsense, and you just smile and nod and go, they're up to something. We don't know, we don't understand it, but you wake up in the morning and go, that's a lot of messages. I'm not going to read all that. I'm going to hope that all worked out well for you, though. And until next week, thank you, all your lovely patrons, and all our lovely dear listeners for joining us here, Titans Peroty and Night Team. And you can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. Just search Two Titans and a Hunter, and we'll be right there. If you've got thoughts, email us, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You really should go to the YouTube at this point. You'll get your 801 videos, your Eververse goods, placing your bets on if we'll get Crucible modes ever coming into the portal. Who knows? All the show notes, all the videos, all the links we talk about live in our website, twotitansandahunter.com. If you want to join the Outer Dance Group, threaten us with a good time, throw more grenades at us, join our Patreon, patreon.com/TTAH. If you're looking for more casual encounter, coffee.com/twotitansandahunter. And, when the leave is over and the streaming begins, twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter, you should go there, you should subscribe, because you never know what's going to happen. And you should be there, ready to pounce when it does.
I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. But who will know? People who've hit the button to know when it happens. Then they'll know. They'll be the second to know. Yeah. So you should go there. You should do that. And until next week, tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.